Happy Friday, Slatesters. It's Mary, which means it's time for another episode of the show that's kind of like a secret episode. It is just for the Slate Plus members. That's you. So come in, make yourself comfortable. For the last few weeks, we've been playing this game we call Main Character Syndrome with all our friends around the Slate newsroom. We've been asking for an update on one person, place, or thing they think you need to know about this week. And here's the deal. Usually we try to avoid the words Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Washington, D.C., but sometimes there's something so big, so important, we need to break this rule, especially because I can talk to Jim Newell about what's going on. Jim Newell, you are here. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Mary. How you doing?
I have dragged you here. Not really dragged you.
Yeah, what do you want? What do you want from me?
I'm dragged you because big news in your beat this week. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act has officially passed the House. And I gotta say, I really didn't think Mike Johnson would meet his deadline. His deadline was Memorial Day. And you know what? He got it done. Were you surprised by that?
I was by the timing. I thought last week when they were having some trouble getting through a couple of committees and they had like one failed vote and there were some headlines like, oh, this is chaos, they're in disarray. I thought they were actually in a pretty good place to close the deal, but I did think it might take another week or so of wrangling. But yeah, he got it done. Magic Mike Johnson.
Yeah. Donald Trump came back from his Mideast trip, showed up on the Hill, had lunch with people, cracked his knuckles or something. And all of a sudden, now we have this big, beautiful bill. I don't know if you'd have another name for it. That's its official name.
Yeah, I think we should be clear for the listeners. It is literally called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
Yeah, it really is.
Which I'm happy. I'm glad we have an official title now that I didn't know how to describe it before. I'd be like, the mega bill comprising everything. But now I just have this stupid name that Trump gave it. And, you know, it's actually official.
Can I just tell you the last time we talked about this bill and you were talking about his OBBB or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, we could name the show You Down with OBBB? Yeah, you know me.
Hey,
for the old heads.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Yeah, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Okay, we usually give ourselves like 15 minutes to get through this. I don't know. We might take longer this time, Jim, because this thing is 1,000 pages long.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, this thing passed Thursday morning after being hammered out overnight. And like literally the C-SPAN was rocking at 1 a.m. For those people who were not glued to their televisions at that time, can you just explain what happened and how normal or abnormal it was?
It's not abnormal for them to, once they finally get the votes, to vote right away. But this was pretty intense. I mean, they started the Rules Committee hearing late Tuesday night, which is the Rules Committee is the final kind of, it's the gateway to the floor. It's the last committee that considers a bill before it goes to the floor.
So they're like doing edits in this committee?
Yeah. And so they were waiting on whatever these final changes were going to be, which is called a so-called manager's amendment, where whatever final deals are going to be made between these various factions, it's all going to be in this one big amendment that they'll put to the underlying bill. So the Rules Committee was in session for like 24 hours or something, just kind of talking while they waited for the actual final manager's amendment to come through. That came in around, 9 or 10 o'clock on Wednesday night.
Hold it, what? Has anyone read this bill, Jim?
I have read every single word of it, Mary. How dare you question me? No, I don't know. I'm sure that the people have read the part that pertains to the committees they're on.
The executive summary, maybe?
Yeah, I think by the time that the last touches came in, they had a good sense of what they needed to know from it. But no, obviously no one sat down and just like read the whole thing from start to finish, but I don't know if that's the case with any legislation, honestly. So
yeah, so it inspires confidence. So basically the Republicans are passing this stuff on their own, which meant that the fights over what went in here were between like deficit hawks. People were really concerned with how much debt we're loading onto the country and everyone else. Is that fair?
Yeah, there were kind of a few different loose ends to tie up. The deficit hawks you mentioned, a lot of them members of the Freedom Caucus, which is the most conservative caucus. They wanted the Medicaid cuts to be a little sharper. They wanted the cuts to the Inflation Reduction Act, which was Democrats' big climate bill from a couple of years ago. They want those cuts to be sharper. And then on the other side, you have some moderates, the ones from the New York area or from California, moderate Republicans, only about a handful of them, honestly, who wanted a higher cap on state and local deductions.
So, okay, just to sum this up, one group wants to cut benefits for the poor. The other group wants to give benefits to the upper middle class and upper class?
Yes.
That's it for now. And if you want to hear the rest of this episode, the way to do it is to subscribe to Slate Plus. Unlock Slate Plus now by going to slate.com/whatnextplus.